My guest today needs no introduction. Dr. Bruce Lipton has really revolutionized biology. He has actually come up with the idea that your own beliefs can change the way your DNA acts in your life. He has debunked the central dogma that wants you to believe that you are slaves to your genes, which you of course are not. Bruce is a biologist and a best-selling author of many books, amongst them Biology of Belief, Honeymoon Effect, and The Wisdom of Your Cells. Books I highly recommend to you. For me, Bruce is a liberator because he has empowered countless people around the globe to become masters of their own lives.
Welcome to The Power of Rhythm, a podcast with your host, Reinhard Flatischler, around the one thing that connects us all. Rhythm.
Welcome, Bruce.
Oh, Reinhard, guten Tag, mein Freund. And I'm so happy to be here with you because your information is vital to understanding how we're going to evolve into the future. That we've always been programmed with the belief that the universe is made out of matter and energy as two separate things. And quantum physics says, no, they're both the same. It's all energy. And all of a sudden you say, well, if it's energy, then that's vibration. I go, well, of course, that's what energy is. And all of a sudden you say, you want to work with the world. We always tend to work with the physical part of the world. I go, no. Quantum physics tells you that it's all vibration. You want to change the world, you change it with vibration, which is consciousness and our ability to make sound.
Right. We'll talk about sound and rhythms today. But first, please, can you introduce a little bit stem cell biologist? That's what you are. And what did you discover as a stem cell biologist?
Well, first, let's say what a stem cell is, because everybody's heard the word, but let me tell you what it is. When you look in the mirror and see yourself as a single entity, I said that's an illusion because you're actually made out of 50 trillion cells. Yeah. So we are actually a community of cells. We're not a single entity. We're a community. And out of the 50 trillion cells, every minute we start to lose, like 1 million cells are dying. The blood cells are dying, the hair cells, the skin cells, all this. I say, yeah, but if they're dying, they lose billions of cells a day. I mean, so if you lose billions of cells a day, how many days can you go before you're dead? You're just going to lose cells. But we're still here all the time. And it turns out because in the 50 trillion cells, there's a population of special cells called stem cells, which is another word for embryonic cell. Mm-hmm. In fact, before you were born, the cell was called an embryonic cell. And the moment you're born, that cell's still there. It's now called stem cell. Okay? So they can become anything in the body. And I cloned them. And I said, what is cloning? I said, I put one cell in a petri dish by itself, one stem cell, and it divides every 10 hours. So first there's 1, then there's 2, then there's 4, then there's 8. And after a week, 30,000 cells in the petri dish. And I go, and what's unique about it? I go, they're all genetically identical to the first cell that went in. So I have 30,000 genetically identical cells. I split those cells into 3 different petri dishes. So all the dishes have genetically identical cells. But I changed the chemistry of the culture medium. That's what we grow cells in. That's the environment. I say, you mean you change the chemistry of the environment? I go, yeah, but now let me help by just adding this most important fact. Culture medium is the laboratory version of blood. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to grow human cells, I say, what's human blood made out of? And I make culture medium based on that chemistry. If I grow mouse cells, I say, what's mouse blood made out of? And make environmental culture medium. But since I make culture medium, now here it comes back to the experiment, I changed the chemistry a little bit. So I have 3 dishes, all the cells are genetically the same, but I have 3 different environments by 3 different culture media chemicals, okay? So 3 different culture media. Mm-hmm. I go, so what? I go, in one dish, the cells form muscle. In the second dish, the cells form bone. Mm-hmm. In the third dish, the cells form fat cells. I go, so what? I go, they were all genetically identical. So what made the difference to go to muscle or bone or fat? What controlled that? I go, the culture medium controls that. That's what the experiment showed. Different culture medium, different fate. And everybody goes, oh, that's a nice study. I said, the genes didn't control this. They're all the same genes. Right. So they had different fate. It wasn't the genes. So the relevance about all this is now we come back to the human. I say, well, I'm talking about cells in a plastic dish and the culture medium, the equivalent of blood. And then I go, but the stem cells are in your body. You're a skin-covered petri dish. You got 50 trillion cells inside the skin dish that you have, but you have the original culture medium, the blood. And I go, so what? I say, the chemistry of the culture medium controlled the genetics. I say it doesn't make a difference if the cell is in a plastic dish or the cell is in a skin dish. It's still controlled. The genetics are controlled by the culture medium, the blood. Right. And then I go, so all of a sudden the last part of this is simple. I say, well, if the chemistry of the blood controls the fate of the cells, what controls the chemistry? And we're going to take 2 steps here, and then I hope it blows your mind, because the brain is the chemist that puts the chemistry into the blood. I go, yeah, but now comes the last and biggest question. What chemistry should the brain put into the blood? And here goes the answer. You ready? Whatever picture you have in your mind, the brain translates the picture into complementary chemistry. So if you have a picture of love in your mind, you release beautiful chemicals of love, dopamine, pleasure, oxytocin, bonding, growth hormone. I go, yes, when people fall in love, the chemistry of the blood in love has growth hormone, and they glow and they're healthy and they're happy when they fall in love. And I go, yeah, that's the chemistry of love. But I say, if you have fear, that's a different picture.
Then you get cortisol, yeah.
Go ahead, Reinhard.
Then you go cortisol, right? In the blood.
That's it. You put in the stress hormones, you put in things that affect the immune system. I say, oh, that's a different biology.
Yeah.
And I go, oh. So it comes down to the most important, and like, is the picture you hold in your mind controls your genetics and your behavior. If you live in fear, then your body is going to be built for fear, and that's not very healthy at all.
Now let's go to this physics. Let me understand it. You said there are 50 trillion cells that we are comprised of, and millions die every moment.
Every day.
Right?
Every, as we've been talking, you just lost millions of cells just as we were talking.
But that means we are inventing ourselves. We are renewing ourselves by the day, would you say, or by the week or so, right?
By the minute.
By the minute. So isn't that a wonderful opportunity to create new history in our life?
Right, because the environment that the cells are born into is the blood environment. I said, yeah, but I said, what's the chemistry at that cell when you're born into the blood environment? I said, the chemistry is whatever the picture is. If you're in love, you got a different chemistry. If you're in fear, I say, so the cells are always responding to the chemistry, but the chemistry is always responding to the consciousness. And I say, as you change your consciousness, you change your chemistry. And the best scientific example of that is called placebo effect. A person is sick. They want to get well. The doctor says, I got the brand new pill. This is the newest pill. And the patient is going, oh, I want the pill. They take the pill. They get better. And then they go back and they say, oh, that was a sugar pill, a placebo. I say, stop right there. And I say, what made the person get better? Not the sugar pill. That doesn't do it. I said, what was it? The belief in the sugar pill. And all of a sudden I said, yep, belief controls. And everyone goes, oh yeah, placebo, positive thinking about medicine gives you a positive health. And I go, but while people talk about that, I say, what about negative belief? Nobody says anything about negative belief. They only talk placebo, positive belief. I go, most important point, Reinhard, is negative belief is equally powerful and controlling your biology, but in a different direction. A positive belief gives you health. A negative belief can cause any disease in the world. You can get cancer from a negative belief. That's basically what it is.
I totally agree with that.
So this becomes powerful, though. So the conclusion is simple, Reinhard, and the point is this. We are not victims of our genetics. We are creating our genetic activity by the consciousness. You change your consciousness, you change your life. That's the game.
How cool, how powerful that message is. Now, let's go back to the very beginning. And I'm very, very thrilled when I came about your discovery that children up to the age of 7 are merely recording. They are in the so-called theta state, right? A theta brainwave state, where it's kind of about imagination. Now, what would you, as a biology, think? What would be the right way of bringing music rhythm into the children's life in a proper way?
Okay. Let's step back for 1 second, because the point you brought up is a very important point. And that is this, because if I say consciousness is creating your life, and then I say, well, how's your life? And you go, it's not working so good. And I go, but consciousness is controlling. You say, no, I'm a victim. I want to be healthy and positive, and I'm not. I'm going, the first thing that we have to understand, and what you just brought up, is that the mind controls the genes. I go, yes. But I said there are two minds. And one mind is called the conscious mind. That's the latest evolution. It's right behind your forehead, a piece of brain right here. That's where you have a personal identity. That's your place.
Is this the prefrontal neocortex?
Yeah, it's a lobe just right behind your forehead is this lobe of brain.
Yeah.
And that's where the spirit, consciousness, the identity of that individual lies. I said, but the other part of the brain, was the biggest part back here, is called subconscious. That means below conscious, okay? So let me explain. The brain is a computer. Yeah, it's the best computer we've ever known. Okay, but it's the same as a computer. And I go, what? I said, let's go to the store right now. I buy a brand new computer. I bring it right here in front of you. I plug it in and I push start. And it boots up. The screen lights up. I say, okay, let's do something. Let's make a drawing. Let's write something. And I say, no, you can't do it. I go, what do you mean? It's a brand new computer. I go, you can't use the computer until you first put a program into the computer. Then you can use the program. I go, oh. I say, well, you buy a brand new computer. You put a Word or, a web surfing program. You can put all these programs in. Then you can use the computer. I go, a child's brain is a computer. But a child cannot use this computer until the programs are put in. You can't. A child just can't create from nothing. It has to have programs, then it creates, okay? And as you mentioned, the first 7 years of a child's life, the brain is operating not at a creative vibration. It's at a lower energy level, a vibration lower. And this is called theta, as you brought up. Theta is imagination. And when you experience it, I go like children have a tea party. They pour nothing into the cup. They drink nothing. And they say, that was the best tea I ever had. That's imagination. Or a broom is a horse. When a child's riding that broom, it's not a broom in that child's mind. Yeah. It's an imagination. It's a horse. Okay. So I go, yep, that's what a child's life is like for the first 7 years. And I say, what else? Theta is hypnosis. You want to put a program in a subconscious, you go into theta. And then whatever was coming in doesn't go into the conscious mind, it goes into the subconscious mind. So for 7 years, we are being programmed. And after age 7, then the conscious brain kicks in. Now we're the typer. We can type what we want on the computer. And you can add something to the program, you can change the program. But you first need to have the program to get going. So I go, so why is it relevant? And the answer is this. The subconscious mind, the program mind, is what is running your life 95% of the day. You think, oh, I'm going out there and I'm going to create love and happiness and health. I'm going to create all this conscious wishes, desires. I go, but when you're thinking, and this is the monkey wrench, the wrench that breaks the machine, when you are thinking, consciousness is not looking out. Consciousness is looking in. A thought is inside. I say, yeah, but what if you're driving the car and all of a sudden you're thinking? I said, well, your conscious mind's not looking out the window. Your conscious mind is back in the subconscious thinking. I go, yeah, but will I crash the car? I go, subconscious is autopilot. When the conscious is busy, the subconscious takes over. I say, well, what does the subconscious do? It has programs. It'll play just whatever the program was. Okay? So I go, so why? I say, if we have some bad programs, which most of us have, it turns out 95% of the day is the amount that we think. So if I'm thinking 95% of the day, then my life is not coming from wishes and desires. It's coming from programs. If the program is negative, then 95% of the day, I will create a negative behavior that will affect me. And I say, so this is the whole issue in a nutshell, Reinhard. The whole thing is this. Are you living the life that your conscious wishes and desires want to have? Or are you living the life your program gave you? Right, and the answer is, we're living the program. And this is a very hard thing for people because their conscious mind saying, oh, I want to be healthy. I want to be in love. I want to have a wonderful job. And I go, and what's the subconscious saying? Not good enough, not smart enough. Who do you think you are? That's the programs that kids get, okay?
So I think this is very important that if possible, we give the best possible programming to the kids. And so let me see if this is correct. People always come up and say, oh, Reinhard, can we do TaKeTiNa? This is the work I'm doing with kids and so on. I'm saying, leave the kids alone. You do something very exciting and let the kids be around and let them find their way. So give them the good experience, the good programming, they hear the rhythm, they feel free, they feel kept, not like you have to do this, you have to do that, you're not good enough. And
that's where the subconscious program, you have to do this, you have to do that. Maybe that wasn't a good idea to do that, but the child just got the program. Okay, I'll do it. And if it's negative, then the child will unconscious, not conscious, unconscious, subconscious, will play a negative program. Will they see it? And the answer, this is where the problem comes from. I say, let me give a quick story. Same story for 30 years, I tell people. You have a friend. You know your friend's behavior. You know your friend's parent. And one day you see your friend has the same behavior that the parent has. So you tell your friend, you go, Bill, you're just like your father. And then I'll tell you what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. I know what Bill's going to say. The first thing Bill's going to say is, how can you compare me to my father? I'm nothing like my father. Everyone else can see that Bill does his father's behavior every day. Who doesn't see it? Bill. I go, well, how come Bill can't see it? He's doing the behavior. And I say, because he's thinking 95% of the day. He's not looking out and saying, what behavior am I doing? He's thinking the program is playing. And if it's a good program, you go uphill. And if it's a bad program, you go downhill. And the idea is what? You don't even see your own behavior. And therefore, when something goes wrong, we blame it on this or that, blame that person, blame this. I say, no, you created this. If we take responsibility, then we can change that creation. So if we say, I'm a victim, when people say a victim, that's when they give up and they say, I don't know, I'm a victim.
So wouldn't be this a best thing for any kind of therapy, music therapy, healing, to first of all get recognition, this is a program, and then helping them to transmute this program into a positive way.
That's exactly what we're being called on the planet. That's what human civilization is like. Our behavior is so bad as humans that we're destroying the environment we live in. And I said, but we come from the environment. If you destroy the environment, we can't be here. And I go, well, and then who's killing the environment? We're killing it. I say, well, this is science, okay? And I go, so why is it important? Because as you just brought up, if you see you're doing something that's self-destructive, you're the only one that can change that behavior, because you have to recognize, oh my God, I'm doing this. And we let everybody believe they're victims. So everybody goes, oh, I'm not. It all happened to me. I'm a perfect, beautiful person. All those evil people ruined my life. I go, no, they didn't. It was your invisible behavior. And this is why your point is what most important. If I'm programming a child, I don't want to program negative, disempowering belief. Like,
exactly.
It's like, when a child is screaming in the store because there's a toy and they want the toy and the parents want to go out They just don't. They don't want to deal with it. And the kid's crying, and the parent says, "You don't deserve that toy." And I go, "So what?" I say, "If the child is under 7, it gets recorded because under 7, it's in record hypnosis theta." And I say, "So what?" And I say, "What program did I just get under 7? I do not deserve."
Right.
And then the last thing I should add to this, because it will fill in this blank, and that is this. The function of the mind is to create what we call coherence between your belief and your reality. If my belief is I do not deserve, because that's what the program, then my behavior will sabotage everything. I say, why? Because at the end of the day, then I'll say, yep, I don't deserve. See, it's true now, because the brain will take the program and turn it into reality. If you have a positive program, then you turn it into a positive life. If you get a negative program, you will sabotage your life.
And as long as you don't know that's a program, you will defend this program and put it in place, this program, and live this program. So, to get people out of the program is a pretty important, way.
You can't recover your life if you're working under other people's programs. Remember, the programs that you got in the first 7 years did not come from you. They came from your family and your community. And if that program says you don't deserve, then the brain 95% of the day will make behavior to show you you're right. You don't deserve. See, look, you didn't get anything today. And then you say, but I wanted to be successful. I go, yeah, but that was with the conscious mind. That's only 5% of the day. 95% of the day I'm playing program. What? I do not deserve. I do not deserve. That's the program. And I say, then what kind of behavior? Behavior will sabotage everything. And so at the end of the day, you say, yep, you see, I don't deserve it because I don't have it.
Now, Bruce, since you're here on the Power of Rhythm podcast, music and sound are very powerful healing tools. And I found a quote of you that I want to put here now about music. Knowing, you said, I quote you, knowing that everything is vibration, it is obvious that music affects us deeply, especially because we listen with every cells of our body. That's very interesting.
It's not just interesting, Reinhard. As you know, this is fundamentally most important insight. To make the cells live in harmony, then I got to play them harmony from my mind. If I play disharmony from my mind, then I get disease. Disease, disharmony. Health, harmony. I have 50 trillion cells that are listening to my consciousness. If I tell them all the time, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you don't deserve. If you're a child and you hear that every day, what kind of life are you going to have? I go, if every day I'm telling 50 trillion cells that are listening to me, you're not smart enough, you don't deserve, and all that, it breaks the community. The community is not in harmony. Harmony? Oh, there you go, Reinhard. Now we're talking vibration again. There's harmony and there's disharmony. Harmony, health, disharmony, disease.
So what do you think? Is there a difference between just listening to music or engaging actively, like dancing, drumming, playing?
Yeah. I'm not a musician, but I want to tell you, Reinhard, I wish I was. I enjoy even watching musicians when they're playing. They're not even here. They're out in a space somewhere, and they're bringing in the music of the spheres. They're bringing in from above and bringing it into the world. And I say, when I watch them, I say, God, I know they're having a great time. I know that they're experiencing what they're playing. And I wish I could push a button and say, okay, Bruce, play some music in yourself now. I can listen to it. So that's my alternative.
Okay. Now you have a wonderful CD out. It's called Music for the Shift of Consciousness. And it's together with Russell Balder that I get to know also in the Uplift Festival. Beautiful oboist. And I would like to play a little tiny bit of Inescapable Brightness that you created in this music. And then we can talk about what this music can do. for a Shift in Consciousness, Russell Walder and Bruce Lipton. I'm so curious what inspired you both to do this album, and how did it come together?
Well, now if we get everybody to get waked up again, wake up, because that music slows, quiets you, puts you in a peaceful place. It lowers the vibration of the brain. The higher the vibration, the more active you become. But when you lower the vibration, it calms everything down. Okay. And it's very interesting because let's say you're in a military and you're in a battle, and I say, okay, let's wake up in the morning and let's play this music. I don't think that would activate a soldier. It would cause them, peaceful and all that. Because military music is the opposite. Military music, boom, 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 boom. And that's why they, in the battle, they have the drums and, the beating the drums. I say, that's a different music. I go, that's a music not for harmony and peace. That's
even nowadays, the tanks, they play the techno, the heavy techno, like the real metal techno too.
Absolutely. And your whole career is based on understanding this. Is that basically... and this is why we put out the CD, because I didn't play the music. Russell Walder played the music. What did I do? I put up let's record this. Let's make this. Let's go put it out. And I say, why? Because I said, there's a scientific reason. I said, the music you are playing brings the vibration of the brain down to a quiet, more peaceful level. And this is when you really love music, you're not here yourself. Your mind is gone out there in the world where, to whatever visual pictures, whatever feelings are generated by the vibration. As I said, I could play the military vibration, but that's not going to cause you to calm down. That's going to get that gun and let's go out and do something, It's like, because everything is based on vibration. There's harmony and there's disharmony. There's music and there's noise. And I go, this is the important part. But what am I explaining to you? You're the master behind all this stuff, right?
No, it's so interesting to have you there and the biologist, talking about all of this. Because now, listen to that. That was so thrilling. You came out of a sound shower with someone, and you both were talking about the natural healing and the chemistry you could put into your body. Yes. And you said like 89% of the chemical is then transferred into heat. So it's kind of wasted energy. And there's a very interesting thing when we did research about TaKeTiNa and how it affects the people we measured heart rate variability. That means how the vagus nerve is activated. And in this, there is a neurotransmitter involved. It's called acetylcholine. So if you would kind of supplement acetylcholine, it would immediately disperse. It would not do anything. But with rhythm, you can generate acetylcholine and stimulate the vagus nerve. So it really called this very deeply that you said there's 90% or 99%, 98% goes really direct if you have a vibrational, nothing is wasted.
Right. So, a chemical reaction, even when you went to school, you took a chemistry lab. All chemistry labs almost have the same thing. You put two chemicals in a test tube and you hold that test tube and you feel it get hot. What we call the chemistry of reaction. I say it gives off heat. I say by physics, what is heat? And it's called dissipated, wasted energy. So when two molecules come together and you feel the heat in the test tube, because the energy of the molecules is given off as heat. It's not usable. It's just wasted energy. So a chemical reaction generates heat, which means in that reaction, you just wasted a lot of energy because it's burned up.
Right.
But when you do vibration, there's no heat generated. And I say, so why? I say a drug is a chemical. It's sending a signal, okay? I say you take the drug, I say 98% of the energy of the drug is not signal. It's now wasted when you took it. That was the heat that came from taking it. But I say, if you take a vibration, it will activate the target without giving off heat. So I say, so a drug passes about 1%, 2% of its energy goes into making change. The rest is wasted heat.
Isn't
But
that interesting?
vibration is 100% transfer. No heat.
Yes. So now, Bruce, we're talking about this in a time where they want to mandate everyone to the vaccine, you know. It's so amazing that we have moved so far away from natural healing. But so many people now wake up and say, wait a minute, something is not right. Let me check that out. I've never seen more people interested in natural healing now, in making sense out of everything.
Well, and the problem is this. People are afraid.
Yes.
And the media is making them afraid.
Of course.
Because, oh, everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
We're all going to die. And I go, no. It's a small percentage. Excuse me.
No problem.
It's a small percentage. I go, 99.98% of COVID patients live through this no problem. Okay? I say the small percent get sick. But they then broadcast, oh, everybody can get sick. I go, no. Only a small percent is going to get sick. I say, who are they? These people are already, what they say, compromised. They have illnesses that are already challenging them. They're overweight. They're under stress. They have cardiac issues. They have diabetes. I go, oh, well, then these aren't healthy people. I go, no, because their immune system is trying to keep up with their lifestyle, which is not good. And the immune system is always trying to fix it. And then you get the COVID virus. And I say, well, how much of the immune system can work on the COVID virus? I say, well, the immune system's kind of busy trying to keep you alive now. And so it doesn't fight the COVID virus very well.
And isn't it that cortisol and all the stress hormones shutting down the immune system, right?
This is the other part. This is the part when you scare somebody, you've already challenged their immune system. I say, why? Let me give it, because it's a simple understanding. It's like, oh, it makes sense. You're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. I say, you need energy to survive. You have to run. I say, where's the energy going to go? I say, well, energy's in the blood. That's what carries the energy. I say, when the stress hormones come in because the tiger is chasing you, it does several things. It shuts off the blood flow to the gut, the viscera, all the organs, pancreas, stomach, intestines. I go, it shuts off the blood supply. I say, why? I don't need to fix and maintain the body if the tiger is going to catch me. Then that's a waste of my energy. I want all the energy go to my arms and legs to escape. So I say, stress hormones shut off the mechanism of the viscera, the growth and maintenance of the body while you're being chased. I say, what else? And here comes the one that you were bringing up. When we're really sick, you don't have a lot of energy to even get out of bed because the immune system uses a lot of energy to keep you healthy. I go, so I'm being chased by a tiger and I have a bacterial infection. So I'm putting energy into run away. I'm putting energy into the infection. I go, why do you worry about the infection? Because if the tiger catches you, the infection is not a problem anymore. You're done, okay? So this is the point you brought up, and this is the most important point for the audience to understand. Stress hormones shut off the immune system so that the energy can be used to run away from the tiger before being used to fight the bacteria. And this is the most important understanding because stress is the cause of over 90% of illness on this planet. Everyone thinks genes are causing the illness. I go, less than 1% of illness is connected to genes. 90% of illness is stress because when you put the stress hormones in, what do? They shut off the maintenance of the body. They shut off the immune system, and they even shut off the intelligence. I go, what do you mean they shut off the intelligence? I say, if the conscious brain, the one up in the front that's connected to you, your person, is a slow processor, like a slow computer. The subconscious is like a super fast computer. If you're being chased by a tiger, it's not the time to think of, I go, no, run! And so the stress hormones shut down the blood vessels in the forebrain, where the consciousness is, pushes the blood with the energy to the hindbrain, where reflexes and reaction, no thinking, because thinking is slow. So I say, So then stress hormones do three things. Number one, they shut off the growth and maintenance of the body. Number two, they shut down the immune system, which protects you from internal problem. And number three, they make you less intelligent. And I go, yeah. Look at the world today. The stress levels are overriding. As I said, 90% of illness is straight stress, not genetics. It's lifestyle. It's the fear. It's not living in harmony. They don't have enough good music to bring harmony into their world. They're on edge. I go, well, that automatically compromises your health.
Yes, and indeed, actually, what we are doing with rhythm music is helping the people to go away from stress completely and also from fear, become resilient against fear. Because, it's always day in, day out. Now, there's another fear, there's another fear, there's another fear. And to get the people out of thinking, out of this kind of stress, immediately brings them in a different environment. But you made a great, great quote that really caught my attention. And I want to quote this, and I want to hear from you what you mean. Crisis is evolution. That sounds so cool, because
we're in it right now, so it should be very important to us. I say, what is crisis? That means it's not working. That we're in a threat. It's not working. I say, so what does it mean? I say, well, if it's because you go in this direction, you get stressed. What do you think you have to do? You hit the wall. I say, oh, you have to now move in a different direction. That's evolution, where we change the pattern. Because the pattern is causing the problem, you have to change the life pattern to move out of the problem. So crisis is what causes us to make a change. And the world is in a total crisis right now. A crisis with people, a crisis with COVID, and human behavior is destroying the beautiful garden that we came from. We are nature. We're not above nature. A lot of people think, oh, God put people on the planet after nature was here, so we're separate from nature. I go, no, we came from nature. I say, why is it relevant? If you destroy nature, you destroy us, because we are an expression of nature. And I say, human behavior is destroying the environment. This is why we're facing extinction right now. And it says to the humans, it's very simple. You want to survive? Well, you've got to change your behavior, because your behavior is causing the problem. And this is the fact of science. Humans are creating their own extinction by the behavior they're expressing. And then I say, well, that's the wall. I say, so now what? I said, we got to change your behavior. And this is what nature is asking us to do. And then thank God, there are people like you that say, wait, there are tools. There are ways of engaging in this world that will make more harmony, and harmony is health. And that's why, look, crisis of health is all over the planet. We got the most, in the US, they got the most money and spend it on health, and they got some of the worst health outcome. I say, so what does it mean? The amount of money you put into health doesn't mean you get any healthier at all. It's the wrong direction. And this is why I'm here with you right now. This is why your work is so important. I have to change my life from noise into harmony.
Yes, and I think also the focus constantly on just the matter, not the spirit. You have such a nice quote also, the universe is immaterial. It is mental and spiritual. That
is a quote. Now, I want people to know, that's the quote. Let me say it again. The universe is immaterial. That means not physical. And this is from quantum physics, the most valid science on the planet. And it says the universe is immaterial. It's mental and spiritual. From day one in quantum physics, Max Planck, one of the founding fathers of quantum physics, said, the mind is the matrix of all matter. I go, what does that mean? The mind is creating this. And ever since then, I say, and the quote we just said, the universe is immaterial. It's energy, but it's shaped by the consciousness and the spirituality that we have. So it says, if the world is looking bad, then you don't go out and change the world. First, you go change the consciousness, because that's what's creating the world that we're in.
And actually, I think the negative programs we have kind of recorded till the age of 7 and so, then are making us so susceptible to fear. It's just so easy, when you have this program to just, submit or okay.
Remember again, and the fear was the chemicals of fear shut off your thinking. So you are submitting only because I'm not thinking. I'll just say whatever he said, whatever she said. I'm not thinking. I'll just do what they say. And this coronavirus is people are thinking because they've been programmed to think that this is a lethal virus. I go, it is not a lethal virus. 99.98% of the people recover no problem from this. It's only lethal if a person isn't healthy. So we're not telling people to get healthy. That would be how you get people back together again. We're just telling them, be afraid. Be afraid. And I go, when you're telling me to be afraid, what does that mean? I go, stop thinking.
Right.
Because when you're afraid, you just respond, react, no thinking. And so the world is not thinking its way into a problem that's destroying. And I go, okay, so this is an important point, Reinhard, because there's Bruce Lipton has two lives. Bruce Lipton, the guy who lives in the house and goes to the store and all that stuff, okay? And Bruce Lipton, a scientist. I go, what's the difference? I say, Bruce Lipton, a scientist, knows that from science, we are facing our own extinction because of our own human behavior. Bruce Lipton, as a scientist, also knows this. If you want to create a world that we can live in and sustain ourselves and be healthy, we have to change our behavior because our behavior is causing the problem. Mm-hmm. So I also know, what does this mean? It says the structure has to break to build a better structure, a new civilization, because the foundation of this civilization is creating all the problems. It's the culture and the way we live with fear and hate and violence and all that. And I go, a garden, which we came from, a garden is the height of cooperation. And we live in the height of war and violence and all this stuff. We live in competition. And the idea is this. Then the belief system of this civilization, the fear, the competition, the war, all that stuff, that's part of our creation because we're creating this physics. I say, you want to change the world, you got to change the creation. And we have to break this structure because the structure is perpetuating the problem.
Yes, and it has to go in a chaos phase, has break down, yeah.
That's right. Absolutely. So Science Bruce goes, yep, it has to break down because that's how we're going to build a new one. And then Bruce, the guy who lives here, goes, what a mess. This is a crazy mess. This is scary. And blah, 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 blah. I'm living in a crazy mess. But then Bruce Lipton Science comes in and says, you have to do this because the way you have been living is causing the problem. You have to change. And that's easy to say. But if you're out there in the world as a working person and everything, and you have to experience, it's like it's falling apart. I go, that scares people. Stress hormones. Stop thinking and listen to whatever they said on the TV or the web. Don't think. Shut down your health. Why? Because I'm running from that tiger because I am scared. And the point is, then the health issues got worse. Just watching the news, you walk away with the stress hormones coming in. They're like, oh, I go, you just all of a sudden made your system worse because the stress hormones are going to compromise you.
And, for breaking down, for some people might sound really scary. So I want to bring in something that I see every day, actually. People come into the rhythm thing. They do the steps, the claps. You have seen that, right? And they come in with their, thoughts and with their intentions. So like war, what helps them to get into rhythm, to get in a chaos phase? That means they lose it. They find it on a deeper level. So it breaks down. And again, they start to struggle. You break it again with a chaos phase. And then they come even in a deeper flow of rhythm. So then they come all of a sudden in a rhythm they did never believe they had, just in a rhythmic flow out of its own accord, So chaos phase, what does that mean in biology?
Well, the chaos phase means this, is that there's a breakdown of the order. Mm-hmm. There's something you're so familiar with. It's called not just I lost the word cyber. It's the one with the vibration and
synchronization.
No, it's the one where they play music under like a drum, and then the sand grains. God, I'm so sorry. I lost that.
It's resonance. That's resonance. Yeah. That's resonance.
Okay. And what they show is the story is this: you get a drum, a skin tight, and you sprinkle sand on it, and then underneath you have a speaker,
right?
And you play a vibration, the sound,
yes,
and it causes the drum skin to bounce like this a little bit, and the sand grains jump up in the air and then they fall down, and they jump up in the air and they fall down. But it turns out each frequency has a unique pattern of sand grains.
Right.
When you change the frequency, the pattern goes to a different pattern of sand grains. Exactly. So in the story, they look and say, here's the pattern of frequency X, and then now look at the sand grains and frequency Y. Yeah. And they go one pattern, other pattern. And I say, what they don't show is between pattern A and between pattern B, what do you think the sand grains are doing? They're no longer pattern A. They're not yet pattern B. They're in a jumble. We call that chaos. In other words, chaos is a breaking down of the structure to allow a new structure to form. Yeah. So in this version of showing how vibrational frequency changes matter, that's what the whole point about is. It says, if you want to go from pattern A to pattern B, you have to go through the middle where one is breaking down and one is being built. So I say, where are we? Well, we're in the chaos. I say, what? The old structure, which is causing the problem, the old vibration, is breaking down, and we're building a new vibration for a newer structure. And I say, so what's important? Well, right now, as we just talked about in physics, vibration is important. It's the vibration. And I go, so why is it relevant? I say, because right now we're in a state of chaos. There are people who are holding on to the old pattern, the old vibration. They don't want to let it go. That's my life. I go, that life is ending. We have to move this way because nature is telling us that life is causing a problem and you have to change your vibration. So I say, well, then right now we have mixed vibration. We have the old vibration that's coming down. We got a new vibration that's coming up. And the most important part is to what? Let go of the old vibration because that's causing the problem.
Exactly.
And so when you talk about bringing people into music, if they're locked in the old vibration, they can't really play the new music because the old vibration is giving the shape. So,
and with that, on this process, you build resilience, which means that you lose it, you don't give up, you stay resilient. So what is resilience in biology?
Resilience in biology is keeping your consciousness in a good place. Because if I change my consciousness, then I change my life. That's what the whole thing is. Yeah. I say, what was placebo effect? I got health from thinking I'm going to be healthy, not because the pill, sugar pill, that didn't do it. It's because I thought the pill was going to make me healthy. So I have a healthy vibration. I go, yeah, but what about what's called nocebo? I go, what's that? I said, placebo is the result of positive thinking. I said, what about nocebo? I said, that's the result of negative thinking. And I go, so what is that? I said, it causes any disease. It could cause you to die just because you believe you're going to die.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden it says, well, then we have to change the vibration that we're dancing with here. Because the vibration we're dancing with is self-destruction. Do I have to, is that a suggestion? No, that's a scientific fact. We are destroying our world as a civilization. We are destroying it, not the earth. We are. And therefore it says, you want to have a live earth? Well, you got to stop playing that music, baby, because that's the music or the vibration that is causing the breakdown of the system. We're in negative vibration, nocebo vibration. Negative vibration can cause any, as I said, if you believe you're going to die, you really believe it, you will just die because belief controls it. And we live in a world where it's like Darwin. Go out there and compete and beat the other one. Survival of the fittest. Who's the strongest one? Who's the weakest one? The weak one's gone away. You go out and fight. I go, that's a battleground. and nature is the height of harmony. A garden is complete cooperation of all of the elements in that garden. And I say, we came from a garden. Now, through competition and violence and threats and the way we've lived in this world, we are destroying the garden, which means ourselves. And nature is giving us a suggestion. You want to stay alive? You got to change the music. Gotta change the music here.
And with all of that, isn't that so exciting and fantastic to live in these times, in these very times?
Oh, it's a very special time. You know, it's interesting because all the people that are here are in what is called evolution.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks, oh, evolution takes millions of years. I go, no, that was the old version. Because the new version shows that evolution builds up and then some cataclysmic event drops it, and it builds up again, and another cataclysmic event drops it. These are called mass extinctions. 5 of them have already occurred. The last one when the dinosaurs were here. The planet was lush, tropical forests, dinosaurs and everything. A comet, a big one, hit near Mexico. It caused the web of life to come undone. What happened? 75% of all living things disappeared, including the dinosaurs. That was the last mass extinction. Today we're in mass extinction number 6. And science says, well, what's causing this one? And the answer is our behavior is destroying ourselves and the environment. The illness said this, the planet is got a health crisis everywhere.
In other words,
blamed it on the genes, and it was like, no, it's culture.
In other words, when we are able to collectively change our behavior, we can avoid the 6 mass extinction.
That's the only choice we have, actually, and it will work. And who will be left? The ones that let go of the old structure and said, I will now put my life energy into building a new structure. So I use the story of a caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. A caterpillar is voracious. It eats everything. You put a caterpillar on a plant, eat all the leaves off the plant. Then I say, then what? I say, well, when the food runs out, it goes into a chrysalis, a pupa, a cocoon, and then comes out a butterfly. I say the butterfly has the lightest touch. Doesn't even touch the plant. It's flying most of the time. The caterpillar is voracious, eating up everything. I say human civilization is in a caterpillar mode. We are eating up the environment. We're destroying the environment and everything like this. I say, but there's a point where we have to go into the cocoon. I say, why? You can't live this way anymore. I say, now here's where the issue that we just talked about. A caterpillar comes in, a butterfly comes out. I go, but the cells of the caterpillar, which are like miniature people, when the caterpillar was eating it all up, all the cells were working, the muscle cells, the digestion cells, everybody's working, all the cells are working, no more food. Well, there's no more digestion. So what about the digestion cells? Oh, they lose their job because no more food. What about the muscle cells? No, we're not moving anymore. There's no place to go. And the muscles, I say, the community of cells in the caterpillar break down, make a soup of cells. And then what? And here comes the important part. Some of the cells are called imaginal cells, and they have a vision of a different organization, a vision of a butterfly. So what's happening is the caterpillar cells are breaking down the community, but the imaginal cells are taking those cells and saying, wait, we built something better. We built the butterfly. Civilization is destroying the planet. We can't do it anymore. So it says what? You have to transformation. You have to go metamorphosis. You have to change from the voracious human civilization into a civilization that has a light touch on the planet. And so I say, so what it means? I say, well, in the cocoon, some cells are breaking down, some cells are being built. I say, which one do you want to be with? I say, don't hold on to the one breaking down because it's going to break down. Let go of the one that's breaking down. Put your energy, your effort, your action into building the better one that is coming. And so we're in the middle of this chaos, which is coming down and being built up. And I say, your health and your future is dependent on which one of these you want to hold on to. You want to hold on to the caterpillar? You're going to die because the caterpillar is death and the butterfly is life. And so we're facing at this moment with the breakdown, the jobs are being lost, the economy is crashing, the whole world is in a shaky. I say, in this moment of shaky, you have a choice. And I say, unfortunately, too many people, oh, I want the old one, give it back to me, the old one. I said, the old one is the problem. And you got to let go. And I say, you got to have harmony. I go, what's harmony? I go, vibration. What's vibration? I go, music. You're creating thoughts are vibration. That's when they put wires on your head. They read called the electroencephalograph. They're reading your mind. I said, what are they reading? Vibration. I say, so if you change the vibration, change the mind, you get another world. And therefore, vibration is the key element of quantum physics that determines if we're going to build something or we're going to take something down, depends on the vibration.
What an incredible story for this very, very lifetime. Bruce, I thank you so much for being with me today. This will inspire again a lot of people, but I know you have inspired so many already, and it's very wonderful to know you. Now, where can people find you on the net and follow you on the net?
Oh, it's so easy. It's brucelipton.com. And all the things that we talked about here, Reinhard, are articles and videos and audios that support all of the science that we're talking here. And it's free to download all those things. So, I'm not saying go buy anything. Go to the website, download something. Download a science article, download a music piece, download a lecture. You can download stuff.
Please check everything out about Bruce. He has also fantastic I found your programs very effective. You have also on your website.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being with us, my dear. And for your listeners, if you enjoyed our discussion, let me know what you want to hear next. And for now, have a great day and keep on grooving.